Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm sciencecrafter, and today I'm just going to be going over some I'm going to do some analysis of wall mode gameplay. So I have here four wall mode runs, and I'm just going to be going through them and just basically just explaining sort of the gameplay for people who are less familiar with wall mode, and as it is, of course, Google Snake's hardest and most complicated mode, so I'm just going to go over basically the strategies that people are using to play well. So I have four runs here from different people. The first one is my run from yesterday, or not yesterday, like a week ago, I guess. And so we're just going to go through that. And yeah, I'm going to just be pointing out the different tips and tricks and strategies that people are using, explaining the mechanics of the mode as I go along, and hopefully it'll just help to clarify for, people who are less familiar with the mode. This will be a very low-key video. I'm just going to, very casual. And yeah, we're just going to get started. So this isn't the run itself. So okay, the run just started. Immediately, we start with our four apples, as you can see, four apples, and we have this wall immediately spawn. So I chose to eat this apple first. It doesn't really matter. I think realistically, so if you eat this apple first, then, so every time you eat an apple, so we start at 0, right? We start at 0. And now we're at 1. And so every other time you eat an apple, a wall is going to attempt to spawn. Now, and so that means that if you're on an even number and you eat an apple, a wall is going to attempt to spawn. So here, and so walls can spawn anywhere except for one away from a corner. So they can never spawn here, 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 or here, for instance. And so in this case, we got our first wall spawn here. That's a pretty good spawn. Generally, the big idea for like the first apple is you want to get something on the edge. On the edge is very nice. Or in this ring here. This is a very nice, not this, like in this ring here, specifically 2 away from the edge. That's always very nice. Or on the edge. That's also good. The worst, generally, is somewhere here, and the reason why is because the simplest bad pattern is when you get something one on the edge and then another on the edge. This is called, well, I mean, I usually refer to it as a domino. Some people refer to it as testicles. I think they're sometimes called pairs. Or what's the common word that we use now? I forget what the common word for it is now, but anyways, so this sort of pattern is the worst. So if you see a wall spawn here, that's quite nice, because these two are already blocked. But anyways, so yeah, we got our first spawn, and so we're just going to keep going. I'm playing it pretty quickly, pretty risky at the beginning here, just to see what the pattern's going to give me. I could try blocking immediately, but we're just going to go through this. And yeah, I'm just going through it. I'm not really caring too much. I should ideally be blocking like this row instead of whatever this is, but it's not too bad. So, okay. Immediately, there's not really too much bad stuff going on here. This would maybe not be a great spawn, but other than that, I don't really see anything too bad. And it's pretty early. Generally, once like, well, actually, it depends. Like, there's nothing really notable yet. So we'll keep going until we get something notable. And okay, so immediately, so if there were to be something to spawn here, that'd be nice. But of course, one other rule of wall mode is nothing can spawn directly adjacent to a wall. And also, on the edge, there's an additional spawning rule that says it cannot spawn it can't spawn 2 away from something on the edge. So this can't spawn either. If there was, say, something here, then this can't spawn. The closest would be this. And we keep going. And as you can see, I did choose to block here. I don't know how really helpful that was. I also chose to block here, I think. Which, yeah, those are kind of awkward. Generally, there's a very rough rule of thumb that says you don't want it to spawn, like, in a grid-like pattern, you know, sort of like, you know, this, this. Those sorts of grid patterns are usually pretty bad. Sometimes they're unavoidable, and they're not always bad, but just generally they lead to bad things. So we try and minimize them just as like a rule of thumb. So we can keep going here. And, okay. Immediately, there's actually not too much bad stuff going on, and I haven't really been blocking as much as I should have been. I wasn't really blocking as much as I should have been, but, you know, you see, and this is pretty decent. Yeah, all things considered, this is a pretty decent run, so... And of course, this does end up being all. But immediately we notice something interesting. So there is this tile right here, and I actually do point this out in the video itself. This is a bad spawn, and the reason for that is, right, okay, right, so it's because of this. So if you have this, so this formation right here is also bad. It's actually really bad, because like if you try and go through here, then this becomes, you can't get that. And if you try and go through like, you know, here, then this becomes ungettable. And, you know, so this is a bad pattern. And so because of that, immediately I notice, and I do notice this, that I have to block this. So I'll put a big X here for block. And I notice that, and then I keep going. And okay, actually, there was actually, here I actually was intentionally blocking this as well. And then of course I got the good spawn that I wanted, so that's good. And now notice that this spawn right here also blocks that because it's directly adjacent, right? So, yeah, so, and this is a pretty standard game. The only real block that I had was here and of course here. So yeah, there's not really too much notable in this run. And then of course I keep going, and there's not really anywhere else that can even spawn, I don't think. Like I'm looking, and this is all adjacent to other stuff. This is two away from one on the edge. This, oh right, the other rule, sorry, there's actually 3 spawning rules. One is no directly adjacent. One is if it's on the edge, it can't spawn 2 away. And if it's 2 away from the corner, then it blocks the one, excuse me, oh, sorry. It blocks this. So here, we see that here, this one is blocking this from spawning as well. So this can't spawn either. So that's actually, so yeah, at this point, the only possible spot where a wall could spawn is here. And so what I'm trying to do is just block this. And everything else seems to be pretty self-explanatory. This isn't a perfect pattern. It's a -1 with 1 block. So this is the 1 block, and then the -1 is somewhere around here. We'll see it as the game develops. You know, I can see this. I can see, yeah, this sort of thing. And yeah, we're starting to develop the coil, and we see sort of the plan come into motion. And then of course we see sort of this. And this is sort of the pocket that we like to see. And yeah, that's basically the strategy, is just to leave a nice pocket here, which I do end up doing, and it works pretty nicely. So yeah. So we just get through the rest of the run, and I can skip ahead a little bit. Oh, okay. And then of course I do, how much does this skip forward by? There you go. And this one does end up being successful. So, alright. Let us move on to the second run. So this one is, I believe, courtesy of Let me just make sure I don't get... Right, so this next run is courtesy of snakeabake. Okay, and we're immediately starting off strong. This is normal speed, same settings. And this one is notable because he was going for a high score. So he's going to be doing a lot of blocks to try and get some unnecessary blocks, specifically to get a higher score. So we're going to see that going into it. snakeabake is pretty competent at wall, so especially like playing wall well. Okay, so immediately we get some really nice spawns, and actually I'm going to go back a second here just to sorry. I'm just going to go back here a second just to... Okay. Let me just go back here a second. And okay. So taking a look here, we see immediately going for some nice spawns. So this spawn right here is actually quite good. This is quite a good spawn, because if this were to spawn, then that's sort of like a actually. So yeah, it's really not that notable, I guess. Especially like the first two spawns. There's nothing really too notable here, so we'll just keep going. These are nice spawns. These are nice looking spawns. Like this is a knight's move away. This is, 2 away from a corner. That's always nice. This just spawned, and we can note that now we would not like this to spawn. So we're going to block this and block this, because these are, of course, 2 away, and we don't like that, right? Specifically, 1 away from the wall, and like a pair that are 1 away from the wall. That's what we want to avoid. That's the simplest bad pattern to avoid. The other simple bad patterns to avoid are like this. This is another simple bad pattern. Or like this. Same idea. Another one that's very common as well is this, and then where you don't get this. So specifically like this, for instance, or this is also a bad pattern. Or this as well is another bad pattern. Actually, this one I'm not actually entirely sure about. No, I think that one can actually be circumvented. That one's not too bad. But if you get this, it's really important that you get this as well, generally. And then another bad pattern would be something like maybe... Oh, another one that comes up all the time is this as well. So those are the simplest bad patterns. There is a system, there's a couple different systems. Well, okay, there's 2 systems for figuring out whether a pattern is good or bad. It's my system and quasi-system. Quasi-system is much more advanced, and mine is also somewhat advanced, but it's not like super advanced. It basically just involves going through... actually, yeah, you know what? I can go through it. So if we take a look at, for example, this pattern right here, why is this pattern bad? Well, if you're in this tile, actually, I can go through both systems. It's fine. So looking at this pattern, if the snake is here, this is connected to only 2 tiles. So this move is forced. This shape is forced. Same thing here. This shape is forced. So this is connected to this tile, and this is connected to this tile, so you must go here. Great. Now here, notice you can't go in this direction, you can't go in this direction, so this tile you only have 2 directions to go. If you want to fill this tile, you're going to have to go like this. Now, same idea, here, this tile is connected to this tile, and is connected to this tile, so you have to go in this direction. Same thing here, this tile is connected to this tile, is connected to this tile. Uh-oh, we have a perfect loop. This can't be connected to the rest of the board. So just using those simple connection rules, we've already figured out that this is a bad pattern. And we can do the same system here. We say, here, this, you have only 2 options of where to go from this tile. So we can make a line here, 2 options right here and here. Here, 2 options. Here, this is connected to 3 tiles at once. which is, you can't go to 3 tiles at once. The snake can't like branch off to hit all the tiles, so this is also impossible. So this is another bad pattern. All right, now going by quasi-system, and I'll go through the same 2 examples. Let's go with this one first. We can note, so we create a box here, and I might get this wrong, but here, so we notice that the amount of dark tiles here are, shoot, I don't actually understand the system that well myself, but we notice okay. So this is a dark key, and this is also a dark key. So there's this area that we've enclosed here has 3 dark tiles and 2 light tiles. So if we want to navigate through this area, go in and out, we're going to have to pass by an equal amount of dark keys and light keys, but there's only 2 dark keys, so it's a bad area. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong, but yeah. I should get him on actually at some point to do an explanation. That'd be educational, but for now, I'm just going to go through the other one. I think the other example is more simple. Anyway, so the other example is a little bit simpler maybe. We see this area. So we can enclose this area, and it has 4 tiles in it, right? And so this has 1 light key. So if we want to, so this has 3 light and 1 dark. So it's a, I guess +2, I think it's called a +2 area. And so in order to compensate, we would have to pass through 2 dark keys, but all the keys are light, so therefore it's impossible. I think that's how it works. But yeah, it's a much more complicated system, but in certain cases it can be a lot better, because if you have a very large area, you can actually figure out whether it's impossible or not, whereas with the other system you can't always tell. So anyways, those are the 2 systems for figuring out whether a particular pattern is good or bad, but that's a bit advanced, so yeah, if you want to skip that, I'll have put a timestamp. Anyways, so we can get back to this run now, and so yeah, we're just going to look at this run, and yeah, notice 2 spots we want blocked. Yeah, that just simple as. Yeah, so, and indeed, he is going to block the 2 spots, as he should. So, okay, there's also a bad spot here as well. Sorry, not here, here. Here as well is a bad spot, so we would like to block that. Okay, not really anything too concerning here. This is all pretty standard stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so actually I was thinking about this spawn, but actually this can't spawn. Because because of this, right? We talked about that rule earlier, that this guy can't spawn because of that. Okay. So, okay, now note that over here, the possible spawning locations are here, 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 not here, because of course this is 1 away from a corner, and here. So notice that he actually manages to block all of them at the same time. Now the only other spawning locations on the board currently are here, 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 and here. So let's see how he handles those. Okay, so he does actually let this one spawn. Perfectly acceptable. You don't want to have straight lines generally. They're not always bad, but they can be annoying to work with, so... what the... Oh, whoops. Okay, interesting. So now there's only 2 spawning locations left. This has all been settled and all fine. And... okay. So we can just watch how the rest of the run goes. Now he is going to, in fact, block over here very nicely, and he is actually going to block these as well. Now he's trying to go for a high score here, so he's doing a pretty good job of it. And as you can see, things are going pretty well. So he has successfully blocked all of these quite nicely. And yeah, I think he does let one of these go, though. Alright, and he keeps going. Now, okay, looking out over here, we can start to... What the... Oh. Okay, I see. I see what I did there. Okay, anyways, so... Yeah, that's not actually going to work, so... We can start to build a pattern to get through here. And indeed, he seems to be doing a pretty good job of it. I think the correct solution is something like this. Yeah, I think that is the correct solution for such a pattern. Indeed, or hold on. Is that actually what he did? Is that what he ended up doing, or? Ah, okay. Just, yeah, notice here, he could have just went here and instead grabbed this like this, which is completely equivalent, and yeah, nice. All right. Now we're going to move on to the third run here, so I can just get through here. All right. So we're going to start off looking at this. I believe this isn't the run. Is it the run? Sorry, give me a second. Okay, yeah, this is actually the run. Okay. So immediately, so we're on 1A now, so some things are a little bit different. So normally if you had an apple here, so normally if you had an apple here, you wouldn't eat it because I mean, this is a bad spot and it's blocking the bad spot for free. Why would you, why would you ruin that? But because this is 1A, you have to go get it. So you don't have other options of apples to eat. So he's just gonna go get it. And I don't think there's too much. Okay, actually no. So he does successfully block here and here. These are of course the 2 spots we want to look out for the most. And indeed he's blocking them pretty well. Of course this just spawned, so we of course want to avoid this as well. And this triangle formation as well, this is another bad spot. So those are all the bad spots that are at least obvious for now. We also have this, which is pretty bad as well, so. Okay, immediately we have some other stuff going on here. This isn't too bad. This would be pretty bad, though. Actually, no, that's not too bad. This is actually blocked now, thankfully. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. This would be a nice spot. This would also be an okay spot. So, and one of those 2 is going to spawn, so you're fine here. Yeah. Yeah, this all seems pretty standard. We that can't spawn anyways. And yeah, all right. I'm just gonna keep. So we're just gonna keep going. All right. So here's a problem. So what this just did is it just forced this to spawn because nothing else can spawn that would stop this from spawning. So what this means that this now has to be blocked. Otherwise we will have a problem. Now, one thing about this game is that you are allowed to have one problem, or sometimes two if you can connect them, but generally speaking, it's not a bad thing to have one problem. But if you have two, then that's when it becomes actually impossible to beat. Sometimes one problem can be enough, though. Well, kind of. Anyways. And he does in fact block it. He does in fact opt to block it, which is the correct move. Now he doesn't block this one, but that's a little bit harder to see, so that's fine. He is blocking all these, which are on the edge, or one away from the edge, which, we don't like them, so that's fine, that's very standard, and that's very fine. Now he is still blocking this, and he's blocking this, so that's all he needs to. And of course this can no longer spawn, actually, so I can get rid of that. So there's really 3 spots that need to be watched out for. Okay, so this is not a nice spawn. We would really like to avoid this now. That's really not a nice spawn. Similarly, we really don't want to see this either. That would be really gross. So let's see what he does from here. Indeed, he is blocking that, and we have this spawn. Very nice spawn. And we can... so that has been blocked now, and we're all good. This is a little bit less interesting than I thought it would be, but I also didn't think it would be that interesting. Anyways. Now, he is trying to go for this one, which is a nice spawn, so, I don't blame him. It's pretty good. Yeah, there's nothing really too horrible out here that could spawn, so, yeah. You just gotta make sure to block this one and this one. Okay, so he didn't actually block it himself, so that was a small blunder, but that's all fine. It's hard to, of course, play perfectly when you're actually doing it, but now this has all been resolved. Yeah, there's nothing really too bad that can spawn here. At least nothing immediately that would cause any problems. Actually, you know what? Earlier I said that there was nothing that could block this, but actually, this can spawn, which would help that. So actually, we would really like to see this spawn. Yeah. But he does block both. And this is a pretty good run so far. Yeah, we would like to see maybe this spawn. This would be nicer, I think. Although I think they're actually equivalent. But this just looks nicer, so... Anyways. And yeah, overall this is a very solid run so far. No major mistakes. He is blocking everything that really needs to be blocked. And now he's just trying to find a good coil. Indeed, we can try ourselves to find something nice. Okay, so the one in question actually did spawn here. So this has been resolved. So there's only one more spot that needs to... Oh, actually, wait, that's also been resolved. So actually, the only thing left is distinguishing between this and this, but these are equivalent. And we would like one of them to spawn, so... Yeah, so there's no worrying about that, and we can just look at the rest of the run. And yeah, it should be very simple from here. Imagine something like this. Yeah, something. Actually, this would have to be doing something maybe. Hmm. So this actually does look kind of interesting, actually. Sort of a little bit. Hmm. Right. So, okay, I think realistically probably something like there. Or that. Yeah, that would work as well. All right. Yeah, there's often multiple ways to get through it. And I think from here, I think, yeah, what he's going to do is go through here, presumably, and then, hmm. Oh, wait. Okay, so this is not actually a perfect pattern. There is one problem, but it's very subtle. And so this is and in 1A that's gives you a 50-50 chance of winning, I do believe. I could be wrong. I think it also maybe depends on the particular kind of problem. But as far as things go, this is a free win, pretty much. Perhaps. Yeah. Yep, and he does end up winning. Alright, so now, okay, so this last run is from Quasi. So Quasi is like really good at blocking, so I imagine this is going to be some very, very high quality gameplay. This is also a long run as well, so we'll see. So we start off... oh, is this not the... I think this isn't the run. Yeah, alright. Let's let this run finish. Is this the run? I don't believe it is. Is this the run? Wait, hold on. Oh no, this is the run, okay. So I don't know, you just sent the footage as it starts at 9 seconds, I guess. Okay. So immediately we're looking at this and we're saying, okay, what are the bad things that could spawn? Honestly, he's operating on a higher level than I am, so I don't really know exactly what he's doing, but okay, so he is, I think, trying to block this, which makes sense. I think I'm noticing that everything here is on this is on a dark tile, this is on a dark tile, this is on a dark tile, this is on a light tile. So I think he's trying to get something else to spawn on a light tile, presumably, for the balance of it, but I don't know. And yeah, okay. So he is indeed trying to block that now. Okay, here we have two directly bad spots, this and this, that we want to avoid. We would also like to avoid this and this to the best of our abilities. So we're going to see that. No, he is definitely going to, yeah, get all of them, or as many as he can. Here, actually, there's no direct issues here. This can't spawn because of this, as we've discussed, that rule. This would be fine. This would be bad, though. So this is actually another bad spawn. And yeah, that's about it. There's not really anything too pressing, but indeed you can see that he does in fact choose to block all three of these, trying to force either this or this to spawn. And so, yeah. Indeed, he grabs this, 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 and this, because, yeah, there you go, very nice. And he does get this one to spawn, which of course blocks this and this, so very nice. And so now he's going to, of course, adapt to that. So he is trying to avoid this spawning, which makes sense because this is not a nice thing, because this is on a dark tile, this would be on a dark tile, and this is also on a dark tile. A lot of things on the same color tile in close proximity is always pretty bad. Uh, okay, so he fails to block this one, which is interesting. And of course he's not going to eat. He's going to wait until he is actually there. And actually, you know what? He's gonna take advantage here, I think, of the spawn radius, probably. Or he might realize it after a couple goes around. Okay, so here he's taking advantage of the spawn radius. You see, around an apple, everything in this radius, no walls can ever spawn in this radius of the apple that you eat. Or in this case, a raspberry. So he took advantage of that. He knew that it wouldn't, well, actually, I don't know how conscious he was of that fact, but probably recognized that, maybe, I don't know, that if he ate here, it was safe because it wasn't going to spawn here. So now we're looking at this. We probably want this to spawn. This looks pretty nice. And yeah, this looks actually really nice as well. That's fine. And so does this, actually. These look pretty nice. This looks not as nice. So I wonder if he's going to take that into account. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So not perfect, but these are not forced or anything. These are all fine to my knowledge. There's actually another not great spawn here. This would be not great. So I want to avoid that as well. No direct problems, although it does seem like he is trying to block this switch, sure. I could be wrong about that, but it does look like... Okay, so we did get a spawn here, and this was not an ideal spawn, but it's not the end-all be-all. It's just because it's on the same color as this. This is on a dark tile, this is on a dark tile. You know, they're an even number of steps away from each other, is another way of saying that. And those are just generally less favorable, but not always. So anyways, we see this has been resolved. And so I think this looks like a really bad spawn for the same reasons that I said. This doesn't look nice. This looks like a nicer spawn. I don't think that's forced yet. This would be really nice. This or this. These are nicer spawns. So let's see what he does from here. Indeed, he is blocking. Look at that. Blocking this, this, and this, leaving this, this, this. Perfect. Very nice. Oh, this is already blocked. So. Very nice. That was a very satisfying way of eating it. And now he's getting out of here. And he's leaving this. Okay, so this spawned. This is a good spawn as well, so that's quite nice. And yeah, we saved it from that. Saved it from that. Now, looking back at what can spawn at this point, here's a spot. Something can spawn here, here, here. Not here, not here. Okay, so nothing actually can spawn there, interestingly enough. And so that's actually all the spots. It's just here, 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 here. Now we would like to see spawns here, here, or here, not see it here or here. And this doesn't seem to be really much of a problem, so. But we'll see what happens. Indeed, he does block this one and this one, as one should. And he's gonna go here. Beautiful. Very well done. And then, of course, he does get the spawn here. Very nice. So we can see that. Now, yeah, this would be a very nice spawn. And yeah, not really anything else to say about that. He's going to block that there. This I don't think we care about too much for now. He is actually going to play very safe. So we actually do get the spawn over here, which means we don't have to worry about this anymore. And this is indeed very nice. This is a very nice, we see like knights move, knights move, knights move. If you can form a knight's tour with the walls, that's generally a very good sign that things are very nice. This is of course 4 tiles away, so less good, but still, this is absolutely beautiful. Once again, think about the chess knight, you know, if you imagine like a chess knight, sort of, you know, leaping, you know, it goes here, 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 and that's just a sign that things are very nice. This is also, and things that are spaced 2 apart as well, very nice. So, like with 2 in between, that's always a good sign as well. So, yeah. This is a very beautiful looking pattern. Alright, and indeed we get this spawn, which was also good. And of course we remember that, oops, that it blocks not just the adjacent one, but also one over as well because it's on the edge. So now the only spots where things can spawn are here, here, and here. And so we'll see what he does with that. Okay, so he's trying to get one to spawn here, which makes sense. Very, very natural move. I don't think it really makes a difference which one of these 2 spawns, but it definitely looks nicer here. And I think it gives you a little bit more mobility as well, so very, very natural choice, and of course he does indeed get it. So now he's just blocking this. And you can see now, yeah. So now we can start mapping out the pattern. Okay, so this kind of is a little bit awkward, because we're going to need this. Just working through it with my method. Indeed, we'll probably see something like this. Okay, wait, hold on. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay. Right. Hmm. I don't know what he's gonna do here because this is an interesting pattern. Maybe I'll just observe. Okay. So I do believe that this is probably just about optimal. I do believe this is a connected -2, if my memory serves me right. Which just means that there are 2 bad tiles that are connected to each other, directly adjacent to each other. And indeed we see this group of 4 here. I don't know exactly what he's getting. I imagine actually something along the lines of, or not like that, but like this perhaps, and then Oh, but that wouldn't be connected though, would it? Maybe. No, that wouldn't work either. This is very challenging. Yeah, I have no idea what he's gonna do here. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. Okay, so he doesn't end up finding a path, and that leaves two connected over here. So indeed, this one tile over here, had it been positioned slightly better, or this one been positioned, for example, in the corner, that wouldn't have changed it, but, well, it would have made it a little bit nicer. But, yeah. Not really much you can do about that. Very well played. And, yeah. So he's gonna go for it. He's gonna go like this. And he doesn't end up getting the required luck, but a good run nonetheless. So that was the analysis, I guess. 4 nice runs. Whether this was actually useful for anyone, I don't know. But I'm not gonna edit it too much just because I don't really want to. This is just some low effort posting after my high effort posting a couple days ago. And yeah, alright. Hopefully this was informative for people wanting to play wall mode better. And yeah. Alright. Peace.